Someone has finally attacked Jurassic Blocky. 3 crazy claims that has literally got me with my jaw open. It caught me lacking, and I did not expect it at all. I mean, how could I? How could I expect someone to argue with a game that has 10K per update, 10K plays per update? That is a crazy amount of players. And obviously something is working. And so I wouldn't expect anyone to go after a game as large and popular as Jurassic Blocky. And then to double down on that and say that it's slop, basically on the equivalent of AI, is just so wild to me. And so today, we're going to break this down because I think this is going to be a really great video. All right, without further ado, let's get into it. All right, before we start point number 1, I do want to just point out, if vearis is watching this is going to be an intellectual conversation. I am not hating on him, and I am not doing anything against him. I am just doing it purely from a Jurassic Blocky fan's standpoint and looking on the points that he made, and if there's faults, I'm going to point them out, just from an intellectual point of view. All right, let's get into it. Point number 1, Jurassic Blocky got boring. All right, so literally in his video, he said, well, a lot of people stopped playing, like me, and we left, and then the game got 3 to 6K. I don't think that's a lot of players leaving, to be honest, because if that's 3,000 to 6,000 players at any given time, that's a lot of players. So I don't think that point is valid. Saying that a lot of people left because it was boring isn't valid in the first place. But I think to say that the gameplay loop is boring is probably one of the more valid points that he's offered in this video. I mean, we've seen the game get kind of grindy, and I've definitely commented on it myself. It's a gripe that many people have, and a lot of people actually like the grindy effort of the game. It's kind of like grow a garden to them, as a lot of people say. But the thing that makes Jurassic Blocky so fun isn't necessarily the gameplay mechanics. It's the community. And the community enjoys 1v1s and fighting and having all this space to do these things and this huge map and this great skins. And so the game isn't boring because of the gameplay, or the game isn't fun because of the gameplay. The game is fun because of the people in it. And so I think saying the game just got boring with no backup behind that point is very open to interpretation there. Like, what do you mean it got boring? There's a lot of things that happen in behind the scenes of Jurassic Blocky to make the game more engaging and more fun. And I think one of the bigger things you can do to hurt a fan base is just saying a game is flat out boring without giving a reason. He also said in his video that there's no real survival, no depth, and no long-term engagement. And if we're being honest, I think all of those are wrong. Survival. Okay. Actually, survival is kind of halfway wrong because it's not supposed to be a survival game. It's a fighting game. So why would you want survival in a fighting game, right? Survival is more of a battle arena, Hunger Games-esque game. And that's not what this is. YouTubers will do challenges, hint, hint. YouTubers will do challenges like that, and that's where survival can come in. And there, it's actually really great. But survival is not the goal. Depth, there's a ton of depth. You have skins, you have coins, you have community engagement, you have live streams, you have huge things. That's a lot of depth. And you want to say there's no depth in a game that has a town square in the middle of its map, and there's no depth in attacks that all have their own stats, HP, everything is interesting and different. And I think no depth is another point that is just not correct. No long-term engagement, well, guess what? You know that there's going to be more updates. They're not going away anytime soon. And so long-term engagement is 100% still a thing. We're looking at a game that's probably going to be around for a couple more years if it trends on the trending, like how it's trending now. Long-term engagement is definitely something they've been looking at, and it's worked. I mean, when they brought Indom in, the player count spiked. And now, Indominus Rex is going to leeway over to Indoraptor, who's also going to do the exact same thing. And I've actually seen more hype for Indoraptor than I have for Indominus Rex. He said it survives purely because of the franchise name. Part of the reason that Jurassic Blocky is so successful is because it started as a franchise-only game. Jurassic Park and World are the only things that got its big start. But saying that it's the only thing keeping it afloat right now, I think is completely off. Because what is going to keep a player long term? It's going to be knowing that your investments and your grinding are going to pay off. and that there are going to be future updates and that they're going to keep going. And that's exactly what Jurassic Blocky has done. And so I think saying that the franchise is the only thing keeping it afloat and keeping it alive is actually really, really far off. In fact, you could say that for every other dinosaur game, that Jurassic is the reason those things are still alive. Because Jurassic is still pumping out movies even to this day, right? Why are dinosaurs still so popular? It's because dinosaurs are getting a lot of engagement. There's new dinosaurs being found. There's new movies being made. There's new discoveries. It's exciting. It's exciting to see dinosaurs. They're cool. They're mysterious. And so saying that the franchise is the only thing keeping it afloat, I think is completely off. I mean, we have so much that's not just the Jurassic franchise. In fact, I'm sure at one point Jurassic Blocky's going to run out of dinosaurs to add, and they're going to have to start adding paleo-accurate dinosaurs. And that would be sick. That's what Jurassic World Evolution is doing. And Jurassic World Evolution isn't staying afloat just because of Jurassic. In fact, I don't think Jurassic World Evolution is staying afloat because of Jurassic at all. I think Jurassic is actually taking it down a notch because Jurassic is so constrictive with the dinosaurs they can add. I think if we're being for real, Jurassic Blocky has much more freedom than Jurassic World Evolution. They are not constrained. And so it's actually harder for them it's harder for them to rely on the franchise because the franchise isn't backing them up. So saying that the franchise is the only thing carrying them is kind of a weak statement, at least for now, of course. Point number 2, the YouTubers are benefiting off of this. He describes in his video how YouTubers are benefiting off of this, off of their low quality, unedited videos. And to that I say, people have been doing that. People have been doing that for years, for 2 decades, 3 decades, right? When a Minecraft Let's Play gets uploaded, that's when people start to watch. Do you remember in 2011 when you were watching Let's Plays? Yeah. Those weren't high quality. Those weren't the pristine. How do you think all YouTube channels started? These are just kids or adults trying to start a journey where they can make money and or grow a community and have fun and, update people on the things they love. And so they are just trying to grow a game that they feel very passionate about. And they feel passionate about it because the dev team has done such a good job engaging everyone. Now, has the dev team made mistakes? Yes, but so has everyone. And so saying the quality of the videos is low also means that you're saying quality of videos, because these are channels that are just starting. For me, I started 1 month ago, and I've gained a lot of success because I have a lot of history with editing. But not everyone has that history, and I've seen a lot of improvement. Thank you to Scarco and Rexline, who's also a dev on the team. I've seen Fedora; they're part of my streams, and they are all low quality YouTubers. No offense, I'm also a low quality YouTuber, but they're not actually low quality because they all have traits that make them special. And so that's just the start of a channel that they can use to now grow. And so saying that they're low effort video, they're going into the game and they're updating you. Scarco knows things before I even know it. Scarco knows things before, and I often quote Scarco because I admire the fact that he knows pretty much everything about the game before it even happens. Same with Rexline, who's been a part of my streams as well. Those two have been kind of the cornerstones of news for me, and I've really enjoyed listening to them give news to me and tell me what's going to happen and when it's going to happen and what they predict is going to happen. And then what I can do is I can work off of that and make videos for myself with my decent editing and decent talkative skills. So I think I really appreciate them for that. And so saying every single YouTuber that does Jurassic Blocky is benefiting off of it is correct. We do benefit off of it. But that's because we're passionate about a game that everyone else is passionate about. It's not like we're getting lucky. It's not like we're producing AI slop. I mean, Gaming Beaver does it. Gaming Beaver loves Jurassic Blocky. He posts all the time. And yes, he improves off of it because people love watching it. It's a fun game. And so saying that the only reason these YouTube channels are popping off is because of the game, it might be correct. But at the same time, these channels, all they're doing is growing. And so saying, again, that they're all low effort is so wrong. Point number 3. It hurts channels that make quality content through good editing and hard work. Look, there are a lot of games out there. A lot of games. And a lot of times, putting a lot of effort in doesn't mean success. I've put a lot of effort in. Other people have put a lot of effort in. Every YouTuber out there puts a lot of effort in. In fact, not every YouTuber, but most YouTubers out there who are successful had to at one point put a lot of effort in. And sometimes that just doesn't work out. And so I think saying that Jurassic Blocky is hurting your channel because it's pulling views away from you and your hard work and grinding, because by effortless slop content that the algorithm loves more is giving more views over to Jurassic Blocky creators. I actually liked your editing style. I couldn't do that yet. And I thought it was pretty cool how you used your images, and that was really cool. I don't know which editing software you use, but I think your editing's pretty good. And to be honest, I think it is sad that you don't get as many views, right? And that's not okay, right? Because everyone wants to succeed. But what you gotta know is the algorithm. And for me, I needed a game that I felt comfortable making a channel about. And if you know a game is not going to be successful, then why are you surprised when you're not getting views on it? Right? Because Jurassic Blocky gets views because a lot of people like it. And we've already talked about the dev team has maintained excellence and maintained success. And why would people go away from it if the dev team is still open to new things? And so by that rule, we can also assume that the YouTubers are going to be the same way. Where the YouTubers are going to put effort and content and aggression into everything they do because they want people to watch it. And so by that standard, Jurassic Blocky is on a trend to only be more successful in the years to come. Other games on Roblox, which have very high graphics quality and fun player bases and all of this, have a lower player base because their dev team isn't exactly the same as Jurassic Blocky. Jurassic Blocky has found a perfect middle zone, and not every game has found that yet. And that's why those games aren't as successful. What you got to understand, by picking a game that's not successful, you're basically setting up your YouTube channel for low views. And that's okay. If you're passionate about a game, be passionate about a game. Just don't expect to have a high view count automatically when you're using a game on Roblox. By saying that Jurassic Blocky is worse than these other games, you're basically saying these other games deserve more views. But for some reason, they don't have more views. And why is that? Because they're not better games. Good games do get views. And sometimes that's not always fair. But it's always a good rule of thumb to remember that games with high views at least have something appealing. Because people aren't going to play unless it's appealing to them. Whether it's going to be funny, whether it's going to be tense, whether it's going to be exciting, right? Jurassic Blocky offers a lot of things. And people obviously really enjoy those things. So by saying that our content is effortless slop that the algorithm loves more is basically throwing a slap in our face for no apparent reason, because obviously people still enjoy this stuff. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Vearis, I'm really not trying to attack here. This is going to be an intellectual conversation. I saw your video got a lot of views, and I want to address it because I don't think your points are valid at all, and I don't think attacking Jurassic Blocky as slop is a good way to put it. I think there's a lot of ways to do this. In fact, if you want to comment and if you want to respond, I'd be willing to hear your opinions on this, because this is a big subject that you've put out here, and I want to continue addressing it because I know a lot of people also have the same concern as you. So maybe we can get more people to play your games and more people to play Jurassic Blocky and benefit everyone. All right, without further ado, have a good day. Zilla Blade out.